Hello, welcome back to another video. I'm Johnny here. We are doing What If Luffy ate the Kaze NoMi Part 1, which is Wind fruit. This fruit will be a Logia, and there will be more into the story than a usual One Piece What If would be. Thank you to Devontae Kerr, I think that's how you say it. I'll put a picture up right here. He suggested this What If for me, and now I will do so. I told him I would, so let's get into the video. So, yeah, well, before we get to the video, of course, play my intro by Grimshot, and also subscribe to Marx, Spade, and Grimshot, and Devontae Kerr. They each helped me out with this video, as Marx Spade made my thumbnail, Grimshot made the intro, and, Devontae Kerr gave me the idea. So, yeah, play my intro.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.
Yeah, link down in the description down below for Grimshot, Marx Spade's, Grimshot and Marx Spade's YouTube channels. Go check those out. So, yeah, now let's get into the video. So we start off where Luffy's about 4 years old, and Garp finally comes to town. See, Luffy's so young, he really hasn't, what should I say, like, figured out what he really wanted to do in life, you know what I'm saying? So, because he's 4 years old. So he doesn't know if he wants to be a pirate, because he doesn't even really know what pirates are yet. And besides, Luffy's an idiot. Not trying to be mean, but we all know that Luffy's an idiot. But, what's it called? Garp comes to Luffy and he says, "You, kid, are gonna be are gonna be our future fleet admiral." Luffy says, "Fleet admiral? What is that?" As he's playing, he's playing with his toys or whatever. Not even toys, nah. Bros, Luffy's been strong since he's a little kid. So, he's over here already, taking down big old giant sea things, he said. So, yeah, Garp then, he explains what a fleet admiral is, and Luffy says, "Wow, I want to be a fleet admiral. I want to be in the Marines." He's a kid, so he agrees to pretty much everything. Anything that he thinks is cool. Sounds cool to him. He gets to fight, take bad guys down, save people. Well, that's at least what he thinks. Garp then says, "Well, if you do want to, eat this." He gives Luffy this fruit. It's about, it's kind of gray-ish, and it has, these, cloud marks on it, you could say. And it's, like these wind marks. You know how wind looks when it blows in, cartoons or animes and stuff? Something like that. Luffy says, "Alright, I guess so." He takes a bite out of the fruit and swallows. He says, "Blah! This is disgusting. People eat these?" Garp says, "Few people. You just ate a devil fruit." Luffy says, "What's a devil fruit?" He said, "It's a power. Well, it's a fruit that gives you any ability. Well, not any ability. It's a fruit. Each devil fruit has its own kind of ability to it, and if you eat one, you get one of those abilities." Luffy says, "Wow, what ability do I have?" Well, Garp says, "Well, you're pretty much made out of wind. You are wind. You can control wind. You can make wind. And, yeah, nobody can really touch you anymore, Luffy. And you can also move as fast as wind." Luffy's like, "What?" And he tries to, fly in the air. He says, "Why? It's not working." And then Garp says, "Well, it's okay, kid. You just started," as he goes for a pat on the back, but the hand goes straight through. And then Luffy's, "Oh my gosh, am I dead?" With a tiny voice, Garp says, No, kid. It's your power. It's your devil fruit power, showing up." He's like, "Oh, wait. So, what happens if I eat these things?" He says, "Well, you can't swim, I guess you should say." And he's like, "What? I can't swim? But I'm so good at it." Keep in mind, Luffy's only 4 years old. Garp laughs. He says, "It's not like it matters. You can fly, kid. You wouldn't need to swim. And besides, at one point, you'll be so strong you can literally make, a whole tunnel that you can go through with your wind. Maybe if you get strong enough. Luffy's like, alright then, I'll get super strong. And, just to let you know, what's it called? By this time, Luffy already barely knows Ace and Sabo. They just started, like, meeting. And I think Luffy was, like, 6 or 5 when they first met or something like that. Or, like, 7 or 8. But I'm gonna make it till, like, earlier with, like, as, like, 4 years old. So, yeah. Luffy then shows up to Ace and Sabo and shows them his new ability. Ace and Sabo look at each other. He's like, wow, you got one too? From who'd you get it from? Luffy says, I got it from Garp. He says I'm gonna be a fleet admiral. And keep in mind, Ace and Sabo, they're they're like 3 years older than Luffy, so they're barely 7 years old. And they still ain't have theirs full on thing shank, so they actually want to be Marines also. Luffy says, I'm gonna be a fleet admiral. Ace laughs. He says, no, I'm gonna be a fleet admiral. Sabo says, you fools, I'm gonna be the fleet admiral. As they each stare in each other's eyes with like an urge. Luffy says, wait, you guys said me too? So that means you guys have some. What powers do you guys have? Ace says, well, I'm basically made out of fire. Sabo laughs. He says, wow, your ability's so good. As he uses he's basically made out of string. Yes. Sabo has the what is that one fruit called? I'm just gonna call it string fruit because I forgot what Doflamingo's fruit is called. So yeah, Doflamingo will not have the string. Well, yes he would. It would just be like a copy made by Vegapunk. But so yeah. But like Sabo has the original. Just letting you guys know. So Luffy says, wow, that's cool, but I think I can beat you guys. Ace says, how? He says, look at my fruit. I'm made of wind. Luffy says, I practiced the way here. It's been about 2 hours since I got it. And he floats up in the air a bit with like wind going under him. And he like sits down kind of like crisscross episode. And it's like it looks like he's floating, but he's using wind under his butt to like make him like fly up a bit. Ace and Sabo look at this. He says, whoa, you do have a great fruit. And then Ace and Sabo then say, well, I'm still going to be the fleet admiral. Ace looks at Sabo and says, hey, no, I'm going to be the fleet admiral. And, it goes on and on and on. But, yeah. Garp shows up right behind Luffy and in front of Sabo and Ace and have them line up together. Garp puts a hat on each of their heads, marine hats, and they said, wow, well, you three are gonna be the three strongest Marines in the world. Sabo will be an admiral, Ace will be an admiral, and Luffy will be the admiral. And the strongest out of you two will become a fleet admiral. The strongest out of you three will become a fleet admiral, says Garp. Luffy says, wow, I can't believe I'm going to become a fleet admiral. As he looks at Ace and Sabo and like a evil snarking smile because of the hint of that he's going to be the fleet admiral to them. Ace and Sabo says, you're not going to become the fleet admiral. Frank points his finger and shoots like a bullet of fire. It's like mini fire sword. And it goes straight through Luffy. Luffy says, it's not going to work on me. And Luffy puts a push with his hand, waves, and wave fire. My bad. What's it called? Wind, blows at Ace, and wind could do a damage to fire. It will blow fire. It won't blow fire out. It would make it bigger, but it can also move fire. You know what I'm saying? And it could also take fire out, which happens a few times. And he uses that, and, Ace gets a little weak after taking that wind. Because it wasn't too much. It wasn't enough to, add on to fire, but it was enough to, make a fire weaker. Because, sometimes wind can make fire weak, and sometimes wind can make fire strong. It just depends on the way Luffy chooses to use his, wind, you can say. Sabo then, he uses his his string to make a mini cage around both Luffy and Ace, and they weren't able to get out until Sabo released it. Garp sees Sabo use this ability, and Garp was, oh wait, what was that? They should have been able to go through with fruits like this. Sabo says, I don't know, I just imagined a cage that that you're not able to go through, I guess. So, Garp thinks back to when he saw Sabo use, not Sabo, Doflamingo use ability like that, called his bird cage, or whatever you could say. Because, he has a copy of that ability. And it's like a cage that nothing can get out. Like, you can't break, you can't get through it, nothing. I guess you could say. Oh, my bad about that. But, yeah, we're enough with, Luffy and them, like, we're enough with this right now. We fast forward about 3 years, where Ace and Sabo are about 10 years old, and Luffy is 7. Luffy, he's a lot stronger than he was as a kid, but he isn't super strong. So I'm just letting you guys know, Luffy's not going to be over strong. He's not going to be overpowered. Well, he will be. But at the same time, he won't be super overpowered at the beginning, as a kid and stuff like that. He goes to the local bar to say what's up to the girl at the front, She's been pretty nice to Luffy, and she gives Luffy free juice, as you can say. He shows up in the bar, and he sits down as there's a group of pirates around him. Luffy doesn't notice after a while until one of them say that Shanks is the reason why he's become a pirate. And then this is when Luffy figures out that they're pirates. Luffy puts down his juice and jumps up, and he stares at red-haired Shanks in his eyes. He says, "Are you a pirate?" In like a little tiny voice. Shanks says, "Yeah, kid." As he laughs at it, he says, "Of course I'm a pirate. What do you have to do with it?" He says, "Well, I'm the grandson of Monkey D. Garp. Monkey D. Luffy here, and I'm going to take you down because you're a pirate." So, Shanks hears this. He's like, hey, kid, is Garp here on this island?" He says, "No, he's going to be gone for a few weeks, so I'm going to be the one here to punish you and your crew." He then uses his hand and waves back and knocks some of the chairs down in the group. He says, "I'm the great wielder of the wind Logia fruit, the one that will become the fleet admiral and take down all the pirates in the world." Shanks laughs. He says, "Really, kid," as he goes for a punch not really like a punch, like a pat on Luffy's shoulder, trying to grab it, something like that, but he goes straight through. He says, he's not using hockey, so he's like, "Wow, I guess you're right, kid. But a puny little kid like yourself wouldn't be able to take me down." Luffy then says, "You think so?" as he waves his arm in like a swipe, going for like a cut straight to what's it called? Shanks' chest, but it doesn't work on Shanks, as he uses a little bit of coat of hockey on his chest so that it wouldn't hurt. Luffy's like, "What? That's one of my strongest attacks. How does it not work? It cuts through trees," says Luffy. Shanks smiles. He says, "Kid, like I said, an attack like that won't work on me." Shanks then says, "Sit down, young kid. Sit down, little boy." Luffy sits down as he watches, Shanks. And, he listens to Shanks and this crew's story. And after that, he realizes that some pirates may not be that bad. He goes home that day, but he decided not to tell Ace and Sabo, as they might say something to Garp. Because he knows that him hanging out with pirates and not trying to capture them or telling anybody about that is pretty bad. But, Luffy's an idiot, so he doesn't think too bad of it. He's not too worried. Because, Luffy's stupid. By the end of that day, when he got home to see Ace and Sabo, they pretty much, most of the time when they're together, they pretty much spar or they go hunt for food, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Sabo does, what's it called? We go back to, Romance Dawn, my bad. But, we go back to where, Shanks gives Luffy the hat, which does happen, but I don't want to get too much into that arc. So, yeah. So, yeah, Shanks gives Luffy the hat, and, Luffy is, got the hat, and, Luffy doesn't know whether or not he still wants to be a pirate, and Shanks gave him the hat to let him know that, hey, kid, if you ever catch me, that's how he gave it. He says, if you catch me or surpass me as a pirate, Luffy then says, I won't ever be a pirate. I'm a Marine. I'm gonna be the fleet admiral and capture you. Shanks laughs. He says, well, if you capture me or just if you surpass me and like being a pirate or get stronger than me, anyhow, whatever, you bring this hat back to me, kid. You understand? Luffy laughs. He says, just wait 1 week and I'll give this hat back to you. Luffy smiles and he walks away and says goodbye to Shanks. But as he walks away, he tears up a bit as he is going to miss Shanks a bit, you know? He makes it back to Ace and Sabo and they see this new straw hat he got. He said, hey, how'd you get the hat? He says, the mayor gave it to me. Luffy smiles, you know, as in like it's a secret, and you know they just go with it. So we kept to the age of 17, where Luffy is 17 years old. By now, Luffy has already been on a marine ship. You know, he's already been a marine for a while. You know, we saw Luffy, Ace, and Sabo. It turned out well, the way they are doing right now, they're working under Garp, as they are the three right-hand men to, Garp, you could say. Those three, Ace, Sabo, and Luffy, are the people right behind Garp, right behind Vice Admiral rank, you could say, because Garp is a Vice Admiral. Just letting you guys know, Garp could already be like a whole fleet admiral by now, but, he doesn't ever he always declines, you know what I'm saying? He always declines to be, a fleet admiral, as you could say. So, my boy Luffy, Ace, and Sabo. The first one to actually become right below Garp was actually Sabo because of his fruit and the things he can. The easier it is to learn how to do things with his fruit, and the more deadly and easier to catch people with his fruit. Because come on, he could just use strings to wrap around somebody, take them in, some simple as that. You know what I'm saying? And the whole bird cage thing, where he can make mini cages around people that nobody can get out. Who doesn't want to be who doesn't what's it called? Who's able to do who's not able to capture people good or be a good marine with such a fruit like that? Doflamingo would be the OP marine. Doflamingo would be an overpowered marine if he was if he chose to be marine. He'd probably be an admiral strength if he chose the marine way. If you know what I mean. He's not admiral level strength, but he'd be near there. You know what I'm saying? He'd be a strong vice admiral, if you know what I mean. So, I'm just saying, and we all agree with that. Am I right? Exactly. So, Luffy's 17, he still has the straw hat by his back, and he still chooses to be a marine. But by now, Luffy and Ace and Sabo have learned more tricks from Garp on how to use talking. Because when they attack each other, they can't really hurt each other because of their fruits. So they ended up asking Garp, is there a way to hurt people with fruits like theirs? And they were about Luffy was about 10 years old when he asked that. He was the one that actually asked that question because by then, he wasn't really able to affect Ace and Sabo much, as they weren't really affect him. So the fights, they grew, further. They didn't grow further from each other, but when they fought each other, they didn't really seem to be interested. And Luffy loved to fight them. So, he asked Garp that question, and Garp says, well, there's this ability, and, we're not going to get into that, but, he taught them a bit of hockey. He taught them how to use observation and armament hockey to the best of their ability at the time, as you may know. He didn't teach them Ryuo or advanced armament hockey, because you can't really teach somebody advanced armament hockey. Advanced observation hockey. You could teach somebody Ryuo, but you can't really teach them advanced armament hockey, you know what I'm saying? Advanced observation hockey. So yeah, they're 17 years old, so they know how to attack other Devil Fruit users like themselves and actually affect them. So, we're back on the seas, and Garp told Luffy to disband on his own ship and take a few Marines of his own, and to capture a man named Ranaroa Zoro. Luffy looks at, Zoro's fired and he says, well, he's not really much of a bad guy as he is a bounty hunter, he says. Garp says, we're not really taking him in to, kill him or nothing. We're taking him to actually, take him in as Marine, Maybe he might be your future right-hand man as a Vice Admiral. Luffy? Garp says to Luffy. Luffy's like, oh, wow, that would be cool, huh? So he gets on his boat and he takes about, not even many Admiral takes like 5 Marines. Like, they're like low-class Marines, too. So he takes like 5 Marines on the ship and sets sail. It's a random island. I'm not going to get into what island it is. And he finds Zoro there. And he sees Zoro carrying about like 2 pirates with about pretty low-level bounties, like about like 200k berries, or no, not 200k, not even that much. Like 300 berry bounty, and like a 200 berry bounty pirates. And Luffy jumps off his ship. Zoro stops when he sees Luffy, as he can sense something in Luffy, sense strength, you know what I'm saying? And Luffy says, hey, you, are you Ronald or Zoro? And Zoro just doesn't speak and just jumps forward to attack him. But Zoro goes straight through, and Luffy uses his wind to, put him in like a ball of air. Luffy, like a wind ball, you know what I'm saying? Like an orb. It's like a spear, you could say. And he's not able to get it out because of the wind, of course. Luffy then speaks to Zoro as he's in this spear, you could say. He says, you, Zoro. Well, by now I kind of know you're Ronoroy Zoro as I've read your fire. I just wanted to see if you would say something or try something. And Luffy laughs. He says, nah, you're weak though. But you're stronger than these low-class Marines right over there. And then Luffy calls them over. He says, come over here. And he tells them, stand by as I'm going to release him so you arrest him. Luffy releases them, and Zoro instantly, slashes them in their stomach and knocks them out. Luffy puts them right back in his spear. He says, damn. I guess they failed. Zoro says, you knew they were going to fail. You just wanted to see if I could really fight a bit. Luffy smiles. He says, since you're better than them, and you're worse than me, you probably will be my perfect right-hand man. Zoro says, what? You're not here to arrest me? Luffy says, nah. I'm here to take you in to the Marines. Zoro says, no, there's no way. Luffy says, wait. I think I know your goal. Swordsman hunting pirates. You want to be the strongest swordsman, huh? Zoro smiles. He says, of course, and I don't just want to, but I will be the strongest the strongest swordsman. Zoro laughs. Luffy says, you might be, but, there's a Mihawk who's a 7 warlords of the sea. He's the strongest swordsman, and you're nowhere near his strength. I've seen him fight before, and when I say you'll never be able to beat him, you won't. Unless you come by my side, and then we could start talking about it. Luffy says, wait, you've met the strongest swordsman? He says, yeah, I even sparred with him once. He beat me easily, but I've met him. And if you come with me, you may even be able to fight him one day too. But that's only if you come with me. And Zoro right there, he says, agrees. He says, I'm Ronoroy Zoro. I'm Luffy. I'm going to be your boss. Luffy smiles as he takes him on the ship, and then right before they get on the ship, right before he leaves, he says, oh yeah, you go grab those people because, how can I say, you knocked them out. Zoro grabs him and takes him on the ship, and they get back to Garp. Garp meets Zoro, and Zoro said that he agreed to being Luffy's, Luffy's, what's it called? Luffy's how can I say it? Like, right-hand man, right below Luffy. He agrees to be below Luffy and, like, work under Luffy. And work for Luffy, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Garp is perfectly fine with that, and he's actually pretty proud. And he looks at Ace and Sabo. He says, hey, you guys better step your game up. Your little brother here already has somebody pretty strong. working for him or working, under him, you could say. Ace, and Sub are pretty impressed by Luffy, but they're not mad. They're not. They. What can I say? They don't find a need to have something work under them and with them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Until Garp says, so basically he's the closest one to becoming the next Vice Admiral, as there might be a few spots opening up. Ace and Sabo, what's it called? They look at each other and say, "What? Hey, Luffy, where'd you find this guy? There might be got more guys over there." Luffy says, "I can't say," as he goes away. Zoro then asks Luffy, "Hey, when are we gonna the next time we're gonna meet Mihawk?" Luffy says, "About a week," he says. "But for now, you might as well train as much as you can. Because when you get over there, I can tell you this now. How can I say? You're not going to be able to do nothing to Mihawk. How about you watch me and my brothers fight, and you'll see how I wasn't even able to do nothing to them, and just how you, nothing to Mihawk, and then you see how you'll see my power, and the fact that I couldn't be able to do nothing to Mihawk shows you that, and letting you know how you couldn't do nothing to me shows you the power compared to you and Mihawk, if you know what I mean. But it'll be better if you see me and my brothers fight." Luffy says, "Hey, Sabo!" and calls him in. Ace and Sabo says, "What?" Luffy instantly uses a wind slash straight to the head of Ace, infused with a bit of hockey. Ace says, "Hey, that had hockey in it. Are you trying to fight?" And the Ace and Sabo smile, and they each jump up as they are going for an attack at Luffy. Luffy appears behind them using the wind to, move so fast that he, appears right behind him, it kind of like a phase, So yeah, Luffy faces right behind Zoro. Faces right behind Ace and Sabo, and appears to be going for an attack, but it looks like such a normal punch. But this punch, you can, Zoro sees, he's watching this happen, as this punch has loads of wind force behind it. It's pretty much as strong as a bullet, you could say. This punch is what you say? It's faster than bullets and as strong as a bullet. And he goes straight for the punch to the back of Sabo, to Sabo's back. Sabo then makes what can I say? A ball of a string, and puts it around Luffy's hand using hockey, basically canceling out the abilities of what Luffy was trying to do. This string on Luffy's hand, Sabo then uses the string and connects his own to it and slams Luffy to the ground. It's kind of like a Spider-Man move, you could say. It's like when Spider-Man slings and it slams to the ground. That's basically what Sabo just did to Luffy. Luffy then chops the thing off his hand, and Zoro and Ace says, "You guys are forgetting about me." He shoots loads of bullets at both Ace and Luffy, but they each dodge it and go for both a combo attack at each other. Ace then uses this double fire fist attack and punches at Luffy and Sabo's chest, burning up them because it was infused with hockey, so the ability worked on both of them. Sabo is a bit down because, fire is more useful to his quirk because, it's string, of course. But, it hurts him a bit more than it hurts Luffy. Luffy gets straight up and goes for a wind-impacted kick straight at Luffy, Luffy, Ace's, my bad. I keep saying Luffy, Ace, whatever. Ace's stomach, and blasts him into the back of the wall. Ace gets through the wall. Ace goes through the wall, so it's really right now it's only between Zoro. I keep saying Zoro. Luffy and Sabo. Ace is pretty much out of the fight because he is out of the room. So they made this rule up when they were children. So Ace just gets up and he just watches the rest of the fight go on. It's Sabo versus Luffy. Luffy jumps up in the air. Using his wind, he disperses his body, so you can't really see it around the room. This is another good thing about Luffy's fruit. He can basically make himself invisible, as long as he's in somewhere with air. With water, he probably would have of course he wouldn't be able to. But you know what I mean. Anywhere with air, he makes himself invisible. The only thing that you can make it sense is that he's moving. He has to be moving as if he's wind, so you can feel the wind, and pass by or go through or go by you. You know what I'm saying? So he's traveling at the room at super high speeds to make himself invisible. Ace looks at Sabo. He says, "Hey, he's anywhere in this room at this point. Just feel the wind." Hey, Luffy then says, "Hey, you can't help him." Sabo then grabs Luffy midair with with hockey and slams him on the ground using a pipe infusing with hockey, and boom, slams it on Luffy's chest. Luffy says, "Alright, I'm done. And he just lays down there for like 3 minutes straight. So, as Ace says, "Wow, I guess you still are the strongest one out of us," says Sabo. Luffy says, "No, I wasn't even trying my best." Ace says, "We know that. What you should have did, you idiot. Unlike Sabo, unlike you, Sabo wasn't dumb enough to use a trick like that. Well, there's people observing you that know how the trick works." And Luffy says, "Well, if you didn't snitch with your dumb self, you wouldn't have figured out." Sabo then says, "Well, I kind of figured out before Ace told me, but I just needed that little bit of confirmation," says Sabo. Luffy says, "Shut up." Zoro says, "Whoa! Teach me how to be strong like you guys." Interrupting like all of them, Sabo and Ace. That's Luffy's job. Not gonna lie, Luffy's a pretty good teacher. As they laugh and walk away. Zoro says, "Hey, why are they laughing?" Luffy says, "I don't know." Because they're laughing because, Luffy's stupid. But, yeah. And that's where we're gonna end this what if, in this part. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. And, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be updated my daily uploads. Link down in the description below for Grimshot and Marx Spade. They both helped me out in this video. And, yeah, thank you to Devontae Kerr. And, yeah, peace out.